Welcome to Enjoy Learning Computer Science. In this series, we'll be learn about stack, okay, data structure, stack. So implementing stack using list. That's what we are going to learn in this video. Let's dive into the topic. So first, look at these two pictures, okay. First image shows it is a combination of all the different types of color pencil, sketch, whatever it is, right? So it is not ordered in a proper way. So if you want to retrieve or if you want to search for a particular color, it is very difficult to search among this, right? So in the next picture, you can see everything is neatly organized, okay, so that you'll be able to search for a color pencil easily or a sketch pen easily, right? So this is the concept of data structure, okay. So data structure is nothing but an organized collection of data, okay. The data will be organized collection of data which has a group, and it is a collection of different data types. For example, if I take it list, okay, so list of 5, 10, apple, 15.8. So this is a collection of data which has a name, okay. Data structure is a named group. So L is equal to, which has different data types. This is an integer, this is an integer, this is a string, this is again a float, right? It is an organized, or a data structure is a named group of different data type which is stored in a specific way and can be processed in a single unit. Now you can see what are the types of data structures. We have list, set, tuple and dictionary. Now list is mutable, set is mutable, tuples are immutable, dictionary, the values of the dictionaries are mutable, hence dictionary is mutable, right? This is the data structure. So data structure are containers that organize and group data according to the data type, okay. Now there are different types of data structures in Python. We have built-in data structures and user-defined data structures. Built-in data structures already available: list, tuple, dictionary, set, you all know. User-defined data structure, we have stack, queue, tree, linked list, hash map, graph. So among this user-defined data structure, we'll be learning only stack implemented using list, okay. Now let's see what is a stack. Stack is nothing but arranging an object one after the other, one on top of the other. You can see the books, the first book on top of that second book, third book, and so on. Similarly, this is stack of cups, one on top of the other. So if you want to remove an object or remove a cup or a book, we'll be removing only the top, from the top. So deletion or removing will happen only at the top. Suppose if you want to add a cup, that also will happen only at the top. So removing and adding will be there in one place, that is at the top of the stack, okay. So you can see here, so push means adding an element in a stack, okay. The term push is used to represent to add or to insert an element. Insertion happens only at the topmost element of the stack. Similarly, pop is deletion. Deletion is nothing but removing an element. So removing also from the top, not from between, okay. So stack will be implemented using list, and which method it follow? LIFO. LIFO means last element first out. Suppose I'm adding the first element 2, then 3, then 5. So which element is added at the last? 5. So if I want to remove, this element only will be removed. So the last element which is added will be removed first. That's what last in first out. So stack is a linear data structure. It follows LIFO principle. LIFO means last in first out. And insertion and deletion can occur only at one end, that is the top of the stack, okay. So insertion is push, deletion is pop, right? So this is the concept of the stack, and we are going to implement stack using list. So we have three terminologies in stack: peak, overflow, and underflow. Peak is nothing but displaying the topmost element of the stack. Suppose I have a stack 5, 8, 9. Okay, which is the topmost element in the stack? 5. So inspecting and displaying the topmost element without disturbing, without removing, that is known as your peak. Overflow is, so you have only 3 places in this stack and you are trying to add one more element where there is no place to accommodate it. That case is known as overflow. In Python and in list, overflow will not come. Okay, overflow we don't have. Trying to push an item when the stack is full is overflow. Just you should know what is overflow. Then underflow is, so when the stack is empty, I have an empty list. I am trying to remove an element from the list which is not existing. In that case is known as underflow. So trying to delete or pop an item from an item is underflow. So peak is inspecting the topmost value of the stack. Underflow is trying to remove an element from an empty stack. Hope you must have understood. Now, how will you check whether the stack is empty? Very simple. You can, so if the name of the stack is ST, okay, how will you check? If stack double is equal to empty, or if the length of the stack is double equal to 0, then it is empty. This is what we have to check the stack whether it is empty or not. If the name of stack is nothing but list, always remember it is a list. How will you find out whether a list is empty or not? Either it should be an empty list or it should be the length of the list should be 0, right? This is how you have to check. So if stack is equal to empty, return true, else return false. Now how will you add an element to a list? You have an element list 5, 8. Show you. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm creating a list. L is equal to 2, 3. Now I want to add an element. Sorry. So this is my L. Okay. I want to add an element 10. Okay. So how will you add an element to a list? At the end of the list, we will use append method. So L dot append of 10. Okay. Now what is L? So if you want to add an element at the end of the list, append. So if you want to push an element into a stack, always use append. This is the concept. Okay. Now if you want to remove an element from the stack, the last element should be removed, right? So L dot pop. That's all. The last element which is added will be removed. L. Okay. Now if you want to reverse the list and print it, you can use L of colon -1. The list will be printed in reverse order. Okay. So these concepts you should understand. To add an element into a list, append. To remove an element from a list, pop. So append is used to push an element to a stack. Pop is used to remove an element from a stack. This concept if you know, you'll be able to do the stack question. So if the stack name of the stack is stk, we are giving stk dot append the item to be added to the stack. Okay. Now function to peak. Peak is to check. Peak is used to display the topmost element of the stack. Whenever you want to display, first check whether the stack is empty or not. So here I have used isEmpty function. You can write directly if stk double equal to print underflow. Okay. Else you have to display the topmost element. So if the list stack is equal to 5, 4, 3, I want to display the topmost element, I can print stack of -1. The element with index -1 is the last element that will be printed. That is one method. Or you can find out the entire length of the stack. So what is this length of this stack? 3, correct? This is 3. What is 3 minus 1? 2. So 0, 1, 2. That is the index of the last element. That is the length of the stack -1. So that is the topmost element. So return that topmost element. Whichever method it is easy for you, you follow method. For me, the name of the stack and the index minus 1. That's all. You can see here. I can give L is equal to 3, 5. I want to. So, L of minus 1. You will get the topmost, the last element which is added. It is the simplest way. Okay. You can follow any method as per your wish. Now let's move on to a question. We'll do this question. So write push on book, pop book method functions in Python to add a new book and delete a book from a list of book titles. You can see two functions to be, you have to write the definition of two functions. Okay, it is clearly given, write push on book and pop book functions in Python. So when the name of the method or the function is given, use that as the name of the function. Do not use your own name. So you have to create two functions. First, let's create push on book is to add a new book. Push on book to add a new book from a list of book titles. Okay, so let's try. Def push on book. Now let's get the input from the user. Input A is equal to input of enter the book title. So I am getting the book title from the user. Okay. After that, this book title should be added to the stack called book. The name of the stack is book. Book is nothing but a list. So I want to add an element to a list at the end. So name of the list dot append. Of what are you going to add? The name of the book you received from the user, which is A. Correct? This is done. I can give print book so that we'll be able to find out. Right? So let's call now. Sorry, the name of the book is push on. I'm sorry. Push on of book. So initially I can give book is equal to an empty list. Okay. So it is asking enter the book title. I can give War and Peace. So that book is added in your stack. So this is how you have to push an element into a stack, add an element into a stack. So the next one is you have to write a method to pop, to remove an element. Okay. So when you are writing a method for pop, def pop, what is the name given? Pop book. Okay. Book is the name of the stack. So when you are removing, first you have to check whether your list is empty or not. So if book double is equal to empty, when your stack is empty, print underflow. Else you have to remove the element of the stack. So I'm just printing deleted element is name of the stack dot pop. So this one will remove the last element which is added. Okay, that's all. Now, so let me add 2-3 books and then we'll try to remove. Okay. So I'm trying to give push book. Let's call the function pop book. Okay. So control is F5. Again it is starting. I'm giving War and Peace. So again it is asking a book. So I have entered 4. Now you can see the list. This is the list which is created. War and Peace, The Lord of the Rings, 1984. So the name of 4 books is added. I have entered. Now I have called the pop also. So which book name should be removed. The last name of the book which is added at the end of the list is Sun Also Rises. That is removed. Okay. So this is the concept of your stack program. So push is used to add an element to a list using append method. Pop is used to remove an element from the end of the list. So first check whether the stack is empty. If it is empty, print underflow. Else you can print the deleted element book.pop. Okay, hope it is clear. Next question. ARR is a list of numbers. Okay. ARR is an array which is a list of numbers. Write a function push ARR to push all the numbers divisible by 5 from the list ARR into the stack. Okay. So there is a list. I'll tell you. 5, 8, 9, 15, 20, 11. So you have to access one by one element, and if the element is divisible by 5, it should be added to a stack. Okay. So this is maybe ARR. From this you have to check one by one number. So first let's see the first number. So how we have to check whether it is divisible by 5. How it is divisible by 5? The number modulus 5. If the remainder is 0, then it is divisible by 5. So 5 modulus 5 equal to 0. Yes, that number should be added to the stack. Then stack dot append of. Okay. Now 8 is not divisible. No need to add. No need to add. Again 15 is divisible. 20 is divisible. So you've checked for divisibility and then push that number into the stack. Let's do this program quickly. And finally you have to display the stack if it has at least one element. Otherwise display an appropriate message. Okay. So let's do it. Def push ARR. Okay. So first let me create an empty stack. St is equal to empty. Now for any variable in range of, I want to read all the elements from the list. Okay. So for x in range of 0, the length of the list. What is ARR? ARR is nothing but a list. Let me declare a list. ARR is equal to in eval of. So ARR is equal to eval of input of enter a list of numbers. So from that I want to read out the elements of the list one by one. So for I in range of 0 to len of the list ARR. Okay. So it starts from 0 and ends with the length, and then I want to check one by one number. So if the array of the index x, element x, divisible by 5. Okay, when it is divisible by 5, that means when you divide, the remainder should be equal to 0. You have to use modulus operator. You have to append to the stack, add to the stack. Stack is an empty list. You have to add the element to the stack. So stack dot append of, what element you have to add? The element which is divisible, which is ARR of x. Okay, done. So after that I can print the stack also. You can see it is asking a list. So I am just giving the list as 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 25, 6. Okay. So print stack, it is not getting printed. Let me check why it is not getting printed. Because I didn't call the function at all. So I am giving push ARR. Let's execute once more. So it is asking the numbers. I am giving a list. Enter. So the numbers which are divisible by 5 is added to the stack. Okay. So the first part of the question is over. Now display the stack if it has at least one element. Otherwise display an appropriate message. Let's do this. So while I am displaying they didn't ask to write two functions. So I can write everything in the same function itself, or you can create another function also, right? So if the length of the stack equal to 0, print underflow or empty stack. Else I want to print the stack in reverse order. Okay, so I can give like this. So reverse st is equal to st of colon colon minus 1. So the your stack will be reversed, and print rst reverse stack. This is another method you can do in any format. Okay, let's execute. Got it? The element, and it is displayed in reverse order. So you can reverse the string list in any form. You can use reverse method also. So anything can be done. Whichever method is easy for you, follow the method. That's all. So to add an element, always append and check the condition if it has to check for the divisibility. Any question, any condition which is given in the question has to be done clearly. That's all. Very simple stack. Okay. The next question is write a function in Python, push player. Okay. So you have to write a function in Python, push player, where player is a dictionary. Okay, player is a dictionary. You can see here, this is the dictionary. Player is the dictionary. They have given example. Okay, containing the details of stationary items. You can see it's not stationary items. It gives the name of the game and the player. Okay, cricket Rahul Dravid, chess Pragananda, Kho-Kho Sarika Kale, Kabaddi Pardeep Narwal. So the name of a game and the player is given. The function should push the names of those players into the stack, but the name starts with letter R. So they have to push it in. Say for example, which are the names starting with R? This one, this one. So these two names to be pushed into the stack, like Rahul Dravid, Pragananda. This is your output, and then you have to count the number of elements in the stack. So two elements, two names are pushed. So what is the count? 2. So this is your function. This should be your function. Okay, let's do this. So first one is def push player. So we have to find out the count also. Initially I am declaring a variable count is equal to 0, and let me declare the dictionary first. Okay, so I have created a dictionary also. So initially I am declaring count is equal to 0. Now I want to access the elements. So I want to clarify this one. So let me create a dictionary. D is equal to 1 colon 100, 2 colon 200, 3 colon 300. Okay. Now see how to access the keys 1, 2, 3. They are the keys. So I am giving a loop for any variable in the dictionary. If I print K, print that particular variable, it gives the keys of the dictionary. Can you see? 1, 2, 3. Suppose if you want to access the values of the dictionary for I in the dictionary D, okay, print, I want to access the values. So the name of the dictionary within square bracket, the keys. Okay, so if I am giving like this, you'll be able to access the keys 100, 200, 300. So you should know clearly what is the method to access the keys, what is the method to access the values. Then you will be able to write the program easily. Okay, so now I want to access the keys and check whether the names begins with. So you can see here, the function should push the names of those players into the stack, but the name starts with letter R. Name is in the keys, in the values, not in the keys. Okay, so you have to access the values and check the first letter begins with R. If it begins with R, add it to the stack. Okay, and then you have to count also. So for any variable in the dictionary player, and I want to check whether the value. So the value is the name of the dictionary within parenthesis square bracket the keys will give you the values of the first character. So first character, this is the first character. What is the index of the first character? 0. So I am giving 0. Okay, double equal to if it begins with capital R. Right? If it begins with R, then I have to add it to the stack. Stack dot append of what I have to add? Yeah, the name only, right? Stack dot append of player of K. This is done. Okay. Now I want to increment the count also. So when it is equal to, I will be count is equal to count plus 1. Right. Now let's print the output. Print the count of, and this the count is comma count. This is over. What else to be printed? So the name also should be printed in the reverse order, right? So I have to print reverse stack is equal to, okay, st of colon colon -1 for I in rst print type. That's all. And just I am giving an empty stack as 0. Sorry. Okay. Let's execute. So display is not coming. Let's see what is the error. The error is I didn't call the function at all. The function should be called. Every time I'm forgetting. Okay. So I'm calling the function. Now let's execute. You can see the count is 1, Rahul Dravid. So the names which I given as a dictionary has only one name, that is added in the stack. Let me try to give 2 names starts with R. I'm just giving Ravi. Okay. You can see Rahul, the dictionary contains Rahul, Ravi. First Rahul will be added, Ravi will be added, then it has to be printed in reverse order, Ravi and Rahul Dravid. This is how you have to do the dictionary program. So when it is dictionary, don't get panic. You should know how to access the keys, how to access the values, and read the question carefully and then answer. So thanks for watching my video. Hope you must have understood the concepts of stack. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and like my channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.